The plan was to ride the Green Mountain Highway up the middle of Vermont from the Massachusetts border to the Canadian border over 3 or 4 days with several stops along the way. Then come back down through New Hampshire and across the Kankakee Highway. This is downtown Brattleboro, Vermont's second largest city, I believe. I'm going to be heading up Route 9 in just a minute, up to Marlborough and Wilmington to Molly Stark State Park, hoping they have a site available tonight. They had a couple available for walk-in this morning. Hopefully they still are. I wasn't able to reserve one, but keeping my fingers crossed. If not, I'm going to have to come back down here to Brattleboro. Outside of Brattleboro, Route 9 climbs up into the mountains, westbound. Gains some significant elevation. The views up top, peaks in Marlborough, the views up there are amazing. It's supposedly a 100-mile four-state view. I'm a little bit early for peak foliage around here. It's probably a couple weeks away. I'm planning to head up Route 100 north into northern Vermont, so we may get some more color up there. Should see a little bit along the way here. Butler Motorcycle Maps rates most of this Route 9 as G2, which is better motorcycling routes. Some sections are rated G1, which is the best. As you can see, it's a pretty fun route. Should be really nice once the construction's done, but this fresh asphalt is a little bit oily at the moment. Some of the leaves are starting to turn color here in southern Vermont. This is Marlborough. We're a week or two from peak. Pretty windy at the moment. I guess it's a cold front coming in. The former site of the Hogback Mountain ski area. Used to be an inn there and a maple sugar house, or gift shop, and looks like it's a museum now. The old Skyline restaurant is now a brewery. Quite a view there, supposedly a 100-mile view, 4 states. This was the ski lodge right there and is now a distillery. The mountain is all grown in. There used to be ski runs right there. I spent a lot of time there in my, I guess, high school range, middle school, high school range, somewhere in that ballpark. Molly Stark State Park is just ahead here. Hopefully there's still a site available. Molly Stark and her husband, General John Stark, were important figures in the Revolutionary War, especially the Battle of Bennington. I was here once a few years ago with my lovely lady Carolyn. It's a nice park. Vermont State Park System is pretty nice in general. Several parks throughout the state. Time to find some water and some firewood and get some food. Right now I am on my way back down the hill a little bit to Wilmington, which is the next town up. Get some gas and a little bit of groceries so I can eat tonight.
It's just about 7 a.m. It's nice and warm in the sleeping bag, but it's 39 degrees outside. Time to start the day. Still pretty quiet in the campground. I'm just making a quick cup of coffee this morning. I'm going to pack up and hit the road. The reason being I'm planning to get breakfast at 2 places highly recommended a little bit north of here. So I'm going to stop at one or both of those and check that out for breakfast. The weather forecast showed a strong storm coming in from the northwest, but it looked like I would be ahead of everything except maybe some light showers as long as I was leaving the Canadian border by early on the 4th day.
I'd heard that Sticky Fingers was quite a good bakery, and I have to agree after stopping there. I just grabbed a croissant because I want to go up to Honey Pie and get some breakfast or lunch or something there. Just left Honey Pie, had a Moroccan sausage sandwich, which was quite tasty. Continuing up Route 100. Just left the Vermont Country Store in Warren. It looks pretty small from the outside. It's actually rather big inside. Goes back quite a ways. There's all sorts of stuff in there. Certainly worth a stop if you're interested in such things.
like that guy hasn't driven his car in a while. That's the Green Mountain Maple Sugar House. I thought about stopping, but maple sugaring really happens in the late winter, early spring. That's when maple trees are tapped to drain their sap, and the sap is boiled to make maple syrup. Depending on the sugar content in the sap, it takes somewhere in the range of 30 to 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup.
So apparently the Calvin Coolidge State Park, which is this, and the Calvin Coolidge Historic Site, which is what I passed back there and we'll go back to, are two different places.
I found the Calvin Coolidge Historic Site to be very interesting. It addresses a little bit about his presidency, but more about rural life in the early 1900s on a Vermont farm. It was around the time when modern conveniences like electricity and plumbing and automobiles were just coming into the world, so how they mixed in with the rural life was pretty interesting. I saw several of these in seemingly random locations along the way. Made me wonder who put them there and why. Tonight's dinner at Gifford State Park, some mac and cheese with some salmon. The weather forecast on the morning of day 3 showed that the storm had accelerated quite a bit. They were now predicting rain in central Vermont by midday today, and heavy rain and thunderstorms in northern Vermont by the time I got there. It was time to change plans and head southeast.
There's another one. Despite the rain coming in, I have to try a Creeme. So the maple Creeme is basically vanilla soft serve with maple syrup mixed in before it's frozen. Quite tasty. Connecticut River is New England's longest. It starts just below the Canadian border, forms the boundary between New Hampshire and Vermont, continues all the way across Massachusetts, then down through Connecticut, and flows into the Long Island Sound. Richmond, Massachusetts was known as Toy Town. Clyde the Rocking Horse honors the town's toy-making history.